And can that person, the eventual nominee, beat the president? Can Hillary? I don't know. You tell me. Let's meet tonight's man panel. We've got head writer of the best hour of your day and host of the brand new podcast, Everybody Calm Down. It is Jimmy Failla. Woo! And clapping, golf clap. Add it to the whole. We've got attorney, Democrat strategist, and Northern Star Strategies founding partner, Michael Starr Hopkins. There he is. And look, he's a spokesman for Young Voices and host of the Beltway Banthas podcast. I'll be joining him on that very soon. Stephen Kent. Whoa. Welcome aboard.
Great to see you.
Scrubbed and masculine, just like I like them. All right, so top three tied right now. Could be anyone's game, Jim. How does any one of these candidates blow the whole thing open? Because, you know, it's any given poll, like Joe loses 3, Elizabeth gains 4.
This is the thing. None of these people have any chance of beating Trump, because he's never going to poll well. Donald Trump's candidacy is like the pornography of politics, and that nobody admits to liking it, but somehow it's a $9 billion industry. I was buying a Trump hat for my friend across the street at the gift shop. The guy's like, "You picking up a Trump hat?" I was like, no, I'm just here to meet a hooker. I don't know what you're talking about, Trump hat. I don't know where this guy is. He should have been here a half hour ago. Nobody will admit to liking him because there's so much social pressure, and he's going to win.
And because he's a horrible person.
And the only thing anyone's talking about is national polls, and politics is local, and in all the key battleground states, he's doing just fine. So this whole notion of
that's why it's so confusing, because we have these polls. Like one poll will say, well, he's getting beat by Biden by 6 points, and now it's like Biden's beating by 30 points. He's the best candidate ever. But you say neither side should be overconfident right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Republicans, Donald Trump is historically unpopular. He's going into an impeachment
popularity
process.
Hasn't budged at all.
Well, with his base,
he's no less popular now than he was the day before the election.
With his base, he's still popular with independents, with people in the suburbs.
No, he's really in the low 40s.
The number's the number.
We've seen him now.
Other presidents, President Obama went from the upper 60s to the low 40s.
Yeah.
Like he had a massive swing. It's like this, like a gaping maw.
Donald Trump's numbers are now around.
The president is like, it's a very small swing.
It is.
There's no maw, there's no gape.
He's around 36% now with a very good economy. And so what he should be.
True. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? He's
36%. Is that like John Delaney's like private poll?
The national approval ratings for President Trump across the country are, I mean, he's around 36, between 36 and 40%.
42%.
I don't know what polls you're looking at.
He's not a nationally popular president. His base likes him for what they do, and they're not going to budge on it.
He's never been popular. Why is that surprising? Why do people point to that? He wasn't popular before the election. The only time he was popular, it was like 1988.
Negative
when I was in high school and Creighton Webb loved him.
No, I mean,
he was our senior class president.
Negative polarization.
Sorry, that was Jenny Azaleas.
Who you're voting for is not as important sometimes as who you're voting against. And that's the thing about these polls. They don't matter on their own. It matters what you put them up next to, and it also matters who the candidate is going to be and are they likable.
So, but that's the $10 question. Are people going to vote against socialism and having a bunch of their stuff taken, or are they going to vote against a guy who's annoying and unlikable?
They're going to vote against socialism having their stuff taken. This is still a center-right country, no matter how much the media might want to disacknowledge that. I mean,
is that naive?
No.
I don't think that's naive, but I don't think it's a either or. I don't think socialism has to be.
Yeah,
exactly.
Lino.
I mean, I don't think it's a choice between socialism or Trump. I think it's a choice between, you know, whether you want to be an inclusive country or whether you want to be behind a bigot.
Trump's job is to make it about socialism.
I want to jump in on this. This is the most inclusive and tolerant time we've ever lived in. And they're positing this as if we've somehow become the Jim Crow South.
Maybe for
but
you.
But we've never, no. Across
that's not what my everyday.
No, I understand it. You know, you face an adversity that I probably don't, because people just see this jacket and assume I'm a crazy person from an institution. Like, we're not going to pick on him. But we've never been more tolerant or inclusive than we are now. And statistics bore that out. So when we run this message out there that somehow Obama won with 56% of the vote, but now half the country's in the Klan, I think it's a little misleading, you know, and I think it's intellectually limited. But it's a message that works because it makes people emotional.
I don't know if it does work. I don't know if it works on critical voters in critical states in those crucial counties. I don't know if just saying, oh, the president's a racist, he's a bigot, that's not enough. You need an idea.
Yeah.
You need something bigger than that.
Which is why
that may be true. There may be a kernel of truth there, and I don't doubt that. But the president has made some inroads, some with non-white communities.
Yes.
Speaking of trigger warnings, here's another one. Back when Donald Trump was just a presidential candidate and a charlatan, he made what many people considered an odd boast about his level of support, even by his standards. Remember this little chestnut?
They say, I have the most loyal people. Did you ever see that? Where I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
It's like incredible. Well, fast forward to now, a CNN panel was asked about their continued loyalty to the president. Turns out the exaggerator-in-chief may not have missed his target audience. Watch this.
If he shot someone on Fifth Avenue, would you vote for him?
You'd have to know why he shot.
Yeah, why did he shoot him?
Yeah,
Okay.
Really?
maybe I
That's
think
really.
that sometimes people shoot other people in self-defense. Yeah, maybe the other guy was asking
I want
for it.
motive. No.
Exactly. We need more to that story, all right? Well, she's not alone. A new Monmouth poll finds 62% of Trump supporters say there's nothing President Trump could do at all to lose their support heading into the election. So is Donald Trump the only candidate who can inspire this kind of loyalty, or would voters stick with Elizabeth Warren if she shot someone with her bow and arrow?
No, say it's important to
I like how you
acknowledge.
answer that seriously.
There's a weird.
She could be the Ted Nugent of fake Indians, and no.
They won't do it. They'll never go for it. No, but this president has an unusual sort of cultish appeal and following.
Sure.
People are very into his brand and what he's all about. But
I heard that the Nexium cult was his idea.
that interview on
true?
CNN was dripping with contempt from Camerosa, and you could just feel it all throughout
Camerosa.
her question. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, she's asking these women who she clearly holds in disdain whether or not they're going to support a murder, and they're going to give her the answer that they know she hates. That's what you do when you're put under the lights and you're put on the news to turn against the president on national TV. You're going to go, yeah, sure, show me the evidence, and I'm going to vote for him anyway.
In what
We're
country?
talking about a group of people who
It's a
feel
weird
like
time.
they've been lied to by the mainstream media for a long, long time. And they bought into a lot of what they were selling, and it hasn't panned out for them.
Absolutely.
That's where that level of skepticism comes from.
But it's so unhealthy in terms of national dialogue, in terms of how we actually deal with things like universal health care or how we're going to solve our debt crisis. When we have this
By not having
cultish-
universal health care. Ding, 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 ding.
It's unlikely for our
In
national
2019,
dialogue.
how do we not
She
have
receives.
How do we not have universal health care?
To ask them that
how's that
question
possible?
is not a serious question. I think that is what is unhealthy for our national
No,
dialogue.
she was anticipating the answer, and the answer she assumed was going to be,
Boxed
well,
her
of
in.
course I wouldn't.
I have a
support him if he
snappy
shot
answer for that.
And like, what most people don't understand is here in New York, when Donald Trump said that, most Knicks fans want someone to shoot them in the middle of Fifth Avenue. They're like, where has this guy been my whole life? I've been waiting for someone to come along. Sell the team, James Dolan, please. The reason it works, I really mean this, you got to set aside bigotry and all of the things that people like to push in identity politics. It's that he has an aspirational message that's pro-America, and people would rather root for something than against it.
Well, he also, and he does a lot of stuff that I don't like, and a lot of stuff I think is really, really stupid. But what he's good at, and what more people have to figure out, and Bernie Sanders does this too, they simplify their message. They
Absolutely.
completely boil it down, and they just repeat it over and over and over again.